So check it out. So we got some new tools. You know I love tools, right? And some would say I have a little bit of a problem, but these are necessary. So I saw this one, which is really cool. If you ever have a relay, right, that's going bad, or you're not sure if it's bad or whatever, check this thing out. You replace the relay, and now you can just test. You can just trigger it. You're just testing the output section. Obviously, you're not testing the trigger section, you're just testing the output section. But if you needed to turn something on or validate, and the nice thing is they make them in, you know, those are like the horn relays or clutch fan relays in a lot of cars. For us, these are more like the fog light kits, the aftermarket. They're made for in a car, they're for something, but for us, this would be like those fog light kits, right? Big fan relays, those big 70 amp fans or clutches or something. And then another one of these are like the smaller, like maybe like door locks or trunk pop or something. Again, all the OEM stuff, right? But the other really cool thing that you could do with this is see the loop. Guess what the loop is for?
You can check the amperage.
Yep, you clamp it on there, right? And then turn it on. See it? 4.3 amps. This one does both. This one does 80 amps and up. Well, up to 80 amps, sorry. And this one does 4 amps and down. The only reason we have this one is because this one will read below 1 amp. We have this one, which is the bigger, fancier one. Same thing, you go to amps, DC. Right here, see where it says DC 0? You hit DC 0. 4.6, same, right? Except this one won't read below 1 amp. Below 1 amp, you get nothing. So if you're doing parasitic draw, this one's kind of useless, right? Because you won't see. Yeah, you won't see. We need 50 milliamps. This will only do to 1 amp, right? This one will do all the way down to like 10 milliamps or something like that. It goes pretty low. The only limitation is obviously it's only like a 4 gauge roughly. So, but there's a way to do it as well. Now, another cool way you can do it is with these thingies. So let's say you can't get to the relay, but you get to the fuse, right? So a lot of times we'll get a car that either has no fuse, or you're like, man, there's no way that LED bulb needs a 30 amp fuse, right? Or you don't know what fuse to put in it, right? So you pop that sucker out and just move the fuse, right? So it's still a protected circuit. Same result, right? So now you can check it at the relay, or you could check it at the fuse. Or let's say we put something in and you're not sure what fuse it needs, right? You can also do this. Let's say you have this fuse, we added the fuse holder. If you added the fuse holder, you don't need to swap the fuse out. This would be in a fuse box. So if it's a fuse tap, or if it's in the car and you're like, hey, I want to know how much, or let's say you want to know what the factory draw is, right? Let's say it's a factory component and it's a 20 amp fuse and you want to see if there's any room on it. So you could check it by, you put that in there, clamp around it real quick, boom, another one. So again, we have some stuff. So let me clamp.
For the probe.
Yes, sir. So the what for the probe, you said?
The probe for the probe.
The probe for the probe. So you power this thing on, right? See it? Okay, so it's just got a little power button right there on the side. And then, so that's the bulb. Can you see that?
Yeah.
4.3 amps. So again, oh, the relay's cut. Well, you can't do it, but if this relay, you have to go to the output side of the thing, right? But same deal, you can do it. If this was out of the circuit and this fuse holder was here, I could just shoot the fuse and it'll tell me what size fuse I need. Yeah. Don't forget that we have that. So it's really nice. Like when we get these cars that somebody else built and they have all the wrong fuses, or they have the wrong things fused, or they have 2 fuses in line where it's like, but not where it's supposed to be. Yeah. This will let you test it real quick and figure out. And then the last one, You guys remember the hook, right? So you take that. I don't know if you could see it. So 4.28 amps. Now the cool thing about this, and that one does it too. It also tells you the impedance.
I saw that, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Why is knowing the impedance important on a circuit? Why would you guys think?
Just how much resistance is on it?
Yes, but that also tells you if it's bad or good. If the impedance, the resistance is really, really high,
Yeah, it's bad.
it's bad. And now so the hint to that is if the current draw is really high. Like if it's supposed to be 4 or 5 amps and it's 10 amps or 20 amps, it's because we have a ton of resistance, right? And it's working, but it's taking a lot because the motor's burnt, the coil's burnt, the window motor's burnt. You know, a lot of things have an impedance spec. Like in mechanical, you can actually look up the part and you can look up what it's supposed to be. Like, so, I don't know if it doesn't show you right now, but I'd have to switch it to impedance, but there it goes. So, but it'll tell you what it is, like what the spec of it is, right? What do you guys think? So, like even on an amp, like let's say you're playing an amp, right? And you want to know what size fuse should be under the hood. Let's say it's a brand we've never heard of, or we're not sure. You know, you would clamp, probably the bigger one, obviously, or even the alternator. So this one we use a lot is we clamp it on the alternator and then load the bejesus out of it. Like we turn everything on, turn everything on, put the music on, fan, lights, everything, and it'll tell us how much current we're putting out, we're pulling from the alternator technically, right? What do you guys think of these? I think these are pretty cool. I mean, I thought like there's a lot of situations where it's like
A quick troubleshoot.
yeah, if the horn motor, like I forgot what the Odyssey we fixed the horn on, right? It would have been, you could have just, because one, you swap it, you know it's not the relay because you're clicking it on and off.
Yeah.
So then it at least eliminates that out of the equation. But also too, if you want to know how much the horn draws, you can just pop that on there real quick, pop the horn and it'll tell, or hold the horn.
Yeah.
You have to hold it because otherwise it just blips, but it'll tell you. The only thing with that, you gotta watch it because there's always, with horns, compressors, motors, there's always a spike and then it levels off. So, but you can't go by the level.
It doesn't show like a...
It does, like on some of, I think this one has a min max,
Yeah, yeah.
and this one for sure has a min max. And because yeah, you have to be careful because a lot of times you'll do it and people are like, oh, if you clamp it, oh, it's only 5 amps. Yeah, but it hit 20 for a split second and you missed it, right? So obviously the fuse needs to be 20. That's why sometimes you say, oh, this circuit's only drawing 5 amps. Yeah, but there's a 20 amp inrush spike, right? So for the first second or millisecond, there's this. Now, that's usually not enough to pop the fuse. Like it has to be prolonged.
Yeah.
Now, but if there's a lot of resistance and that inrush is extended slightly, that's when the fuse will blow. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, all right. Any other ones on that you could think of? Like any other uses or any other things you could think of for?
No, just checking to see what the draws are.
Yeah, just to validate. Like to me, it's like to find fuses.
Starter kill.
Yeah, you go under your hood, you press the little, yeah. But the bad part is the only way it's gonna start is that way. Yeah, you'll have to hit it and run back inside, you know, so, but yeah, so just, like I said, don't forget about this one, because I mean, you have your probe on you every day.
Yeah.
So you have your probe on you every day. I mean, you pop that thing on there, shoot it real quick, and I mean, it's literally, here. So this one, so it does tell you right there, look, min and max. So max. So that thing drew, actually look at it. That thing drew 14 milliamps, max. And then it leveled off at 4.
14 milliamps?
Yeah, right there, see it?
That's gotta be the minimum, no?
No, I'm sorry.
4.25.
14, yeah, sorry.
other way.
The other way. You're right. It's too small. So, but we're worried about the high side, not the low side, right? So at the low side, it's less, but that one will do it and this will do it. This is like a baby version of this. But also remember, this one will go up to like 70 amps. Like you could run a fan, a window motor, trunk pop, like where with this one, it's gonna pop it or it'll shut down. Like you'll see it like go into that protection mode and then it'll pop back on because the inrush current is too high. The breaker inside, I think, is only like a 3 amp or something like that, but it's resettable. So it's like the Teslas. You know how the Teslas don't have fuses? It's just, it pops the circuit and then it comes back once the fault is gone. So this one, you do have to reset it. This is the older one. This one is that one, remember we did that thing where I blew the fuse and it was quicker than I could blow the fuse. Like the internal, it will, yeah, because it's not using a fuse. It's actually disconnecting the circuit as soon as it sees an issue. So, cool? All right.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.